Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Hop-a-ba-da-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. So be prepared for the chance of a lifetime. Be prepared for sensational news. A shining new era is tiptoeing nearer. And where do we feature? Just listen to teacher.
What do you want?
Now you listen here. Is this a new fridge?
Yeah, why?
Oh, it's quite nice actually. Where'd you get it?
Argos, quite good service.
Ah, very good, very good. I just bought a dishwasher from them. Very pleasant customer service, I must say.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Looks good, doesn't it? Just a lot smaller than I expected.
Yes, I was going to say I was feeling a bit more claustrophobic than usual.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Enough! You have left me in here too long. You have covered all of my movies, Cinematic Venom.
Well, I haven't done Rogue One or Solo.
Well, okay, you've covered the important ones at least.
Alright.
But now, you must complete the saga.
What? Why?
This was the series that got your channel popping.
Wasn't that Change the Channel?
Okay. Well, it was the series that got your channel a decent-sized fan base.
No, not really. That was the Channel Awesome stuff.
Okay, then it was the series that got you past 400 subscribers.
Oh, okay.
So now, you must complete the saga.
You're right. For old time's sake.
What do you mean?
Well, since this is the end.
Good one. I'll see you next year.
Tis the season to be jolly, the time of year to spend with friends and family, but at a 2-meter distance. Let's get into this Christmas spirit during the most wonderful time of the year. This is Venom on the Shelf 4, A Dozen Farewells.
On the 12th day of Venom on the Shelf, Rob gave to me the end of an era. Howie Mandel was Gizmo, Tim Burton sucking legend, Jason Marsden, one of Spielberg's greatest slasher movie ruin. When's Hermione 18? Worst children ever. Another murdering Santa, homoerotic villain, disgracing a legend, and a crazy Schwarzenegger. Merry Christmas! Alright, now where the fuck is my hot chocolate? What do you mean I'm not getting paid for this?
Hello and welcome to the 4th annual Venom on the Shelf, celebrating the 12 days of Christmas. Well, here we are, at the end of everything. Star Wars. It's been 4 years since I first started looking at these movies, and it's been one hell of a ride. It was my reviews of Star Wars that brought a lot of you wonderful people onto this channel, and I've now nearly reviewed every single one. So before we go on to the latest installment, let's just recap and rewind, and look at my thoughts on the previous films.
The movie itself, I believe, has some sloppy writing and performances, but all in all, it's a decent flick. Not great, but I could see why it was such a hit back then. It's a good and entertaining action sci-fi film, and it's definitely worth the watch.
It's painful! There's practically no plot, there's no effort, there's no charm, the jokes aren't funny, the effects are arse, the acting is a joke, the animation is horrendous, the songs are an abomination, and despite being just over an hour and a half, it drags on longer than a Peter Jackson flick.
Honestly, it's easily one of the greatest sequels ever made. The action and characters outweigh the negatives, and the last act really saves the film and surpasses A New Hope. The second best of the original trilogy in my mind, and a damn good watch.
The film is a joke. A disgrace. The acting is some of the worst I've ever seen, the effects are hideous, the movie is painful, no humour, no interesting characters, no decent performances except maybe Breakfast Club Man for 2 minutes, no decent effects, no charm, no intelligence, no effort. It's a fucking disgrace to film. It needs to be locked in a Death Star for Luke to blow up just for the sake of it.
I won't lie, this is easily the worst of the series, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. I think this film is just so very, very bland. It really is a film that, when asked about it, you simply reply with, That's alright. I'd probably never even remember this movie ever again unless somebody else brought it up first. It's not a tremendous, mind-blowing movie by any means, but I feel like it's highly underrated and does not deserve nearly as much criticism as it's received over the years. Revenge of the Sith, in my opinion the best one.
This is painful. The animation is crap, the voice acting horrendous, the story bollocks.
The movie's effects, character of Finn, the musical score, BB-8, action scenes, and yes, nostalgia all make up for it. It's cool to see these characters back, and I do think it does the nostalgia thing way better than Jurassic World.
I love this movie. I'd say it's up there as one of the best. The characters of Kylo, Rey and Luke are all at their finest. The writing behind their motivations topped with their amazing acting abilities, they are perfect.
Good times. Now, looking back, my mind has changed on a few things. The original trilogy is still a masterpiece, but I must admit, I don't understand a lot of people's hatred for certain things that came after it. I realise I have to choose my words carefully because Star Wars fans are fucking crazy, but hear me out here. The prequel trilogy got abused for having some of the worst dialogue ever written, but are we forgetting that nearly every Star Wars movie to date has terrible dialogue?
I recognised your foul stench when I was brought on board.
I think you just can't bear to let a gorgeous guy like me out of your sight.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
You stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerve herder.
So what I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
Are you an angel?
If Master Obi-Wan caught me doing this, he'd be very grumpy. I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here. Here everything is soft and smooth.
You're breaking my heart.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil!
He was weak and foolish, like his father. So I destroyed him.
You're a monster.
And you called me a monster.
You are a monster.
It's been a problem since the very beginning. With the sequel trilogy, it gets hated for either having plot holes or not being consistently planned out, despite the fact that the beloved original trilogy was never planned out either. In fact, the only trilogy that was actually planned out properly start to finish was the prequels, which everybody hates. People are so quick to shit on the new movies because of plot holes or inconsistencies, but why do they try to hide Luke Skywalker to protect him from his father, but they never think to change his last name? Why is Leia turned into a goddamn princess, but her brother is just a poor farmer boy? Why does Obi-Wan Kenobi try to disguise his identity with a geniusly thought out fake name, Old Ben Kenobi? Why doesn't he recognize R2-D2? Why does Leia make out with Luke when she admits that she knew he was her brother the entire time? Why doesn't Obi-Wan tell Luke who his father is? I mean, this is explained, but in the laziest and most convoluted way possible. And if I were to let that go, why didn't he at least tell him that Leia was his sister? Why does Palpatine talk to Anakin Skywalker about Anakin Skywalker as if he wasn't Anakin Skywalker? You'll say it's because they treat Vader and Anakin as two different people, but in Return of the Jedi, he clearly doesn't when he's addressing Luke about him and Leia. If Vader can sense people, how doesn't he know about his own children? How does Luke even leave Hoth and Empire when they say there's a whole blockade around him? How can droids be tortured if they can't feel pain? How does Luke destroy the Death Star with no prior training? You can say it's the Force, but then you complain when people use that to explain how Rey was perfect in Episode 7. My point is, there's been plot holes and inconsistencies and terrible dialogue since the franchise began, alright? Why are we acting like this is a new thing? Anyway, sorry, sidetracked.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
A New Hope is still a good film. I wouldn't say great. They were testing the waters and getting their footing. Empire is an amazing masterpiece, and Return of the Jedi is a very good follow-up. My viewpoint on the prequels has changed a bit since defending them. Phantom Menace I think holds up a tiny bit better, but it's obviously still not very good. It's average, but the pod racing, Liam Neeson and Darth Maul save it. Attack of the Clones is the worst of the three, but it's not awful. It's okay. It does have terrible dialogue and really boring exposition and terrible romance, but there is some great action and really funny moments. Revenge of the Sith I'll still defend. Despite some bad lines and bad reads, it also has iconic moments, some good Hayden Christensen moments to compensate for the bad ones, and amazing cinematography. It's a great film. The Force Awakens is pretty good, but it's also a lazy rehash of A New Hope, but it kind of works as a reboot. The Last Jedi is where things start to go wrong. The thing is, I like it as a standalone film, but as a sequel, it's kind of trash. People say Force Awakens set up who Rey's parents are, but it didn't. Seriously, watch it again, it's never even mentioned or hinted at. The fans were the ones who speculated because apparently we need to know who everyone is related to for some reason. But Finn was the best part of Force Awakens for me. The Last Jedi, he was shoved to one side and they just didn't know what to do with him, so he was just given side quests to keep him busy while Rey and Kylo did their thing. My main issue with the fan base is that The Last Jedi fixed all of the problems people had with The Force Awakens. Rey was too perfect, so they give her struggles. Kylo was a whiny brat, so he was more of a badass. It's too much like the original trilogy, so they try new things. And they still hated it. No matter what they did, they couldn't win. But what's funnier to me is the clash of directors. J.J. Abrams made The Force Awakens, but due to backlash from fans, he didn't want to do The Last Jedi, so Rian Johnson took over. But that got even more backlash, so it went back to Abrams, and the result is one of the worst trilogies I have ever seen. Yeah, I actually mean that. Like I say, I like The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and we'll get onto Rise of Skywalker in a minute, but I like those as standalone films. As an overall trilogy, it's a fucking mess. It's the equivalent of two school children doing a project together and they can't argue over. They're like, oh no, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. No, we're going to do it like this. No, we're doing it my way.
That's for damn sure.
It's just all over the place. The originals and even the prequels felt like an actual trilogy. They felt like a story that had the same consistent tone from start to finish with the same flowing theme. But here, it's just all over the place. We don't know Rey's parents. Oh no, they're no one. Oh wait, there's someone. The Jedi are mysterious. No wait, they have ancient texts. No wait, they don't. Which one is it? So after the hate The Last Jedi got, good luck making the next one. Sadly, Leia, played by the late great Carrie Fisher, was supposed to have a huge payoff in this film. She was going to be literally the final Jedi, but sadly passed away before The Last Jedi even came out. It was supposed to be released in May of 2019, but rewrites pushed it back. And Colin Trevorrow was the original director, but he backed out due to creative differences with producer Kathleen Kennedy, who wasn't happy with any of the scripts he handed in. The man even wanted to film some scenes actually in space.
Yes, my lord.
J.J. Abrams was then brought back in and the release date was pushed back to December the 20th, 2019. They even met with George Lucas himself before writing the new script. But of course there were issues behind the scenes. Actor John Boyega was changing apartments during shooting and accidentally left a copy of the script under his bed. Someone was cleaning the place not long after and discovered it and even attempted to sell it on eBay before Disney and Lucasfilm managed to buy it back in time before it was leaked.
I'm sorry.
Despite the untimely death of Carrie Fisher, Lucasfilm confirmed that they had no plans to digitally generate her into the movie like they did in Rogue One. However, her daughter Billie did end up giving consent to use recent footage of her for the film, though it was later stated that she wouldn't appear in the movie. However, J.J. Abrams then claimed that they would simply be using unused footage of Carrie Fisher from The Force Awakens to help complete her story. They did, however, use CGI to digitally create a younger Luke and Leia in some flashback sequences.
I know.
It was soon confirmed that Billy D. Williams would return as Lando, making it one of the longest intervals between portrayals of the same character in history between 1983 and 2019. In April that year, a trailer dropped and split the internet in two, as it ended with Emperor Palpatine, played again by Ian McDiarmid, laughing maniacally confirming his return. Some found it a great nostalgic throwback, while others found it a disgrace to the end of Return of the Jedi and just catering to the past. The movie managed to earn $373.5 million in its opening weekend, which was actually 47% lower than The Last Jedi. And my god, if you thought The Last Jedi was hated, phew boy! It's actually to the point that fans of the originals and fans of The Last Jedi collectively come together, put their differences aside, and unanimously agree that Rise of Skywalker is complete dog piss. Okay, I am slightly terrified.
Did you hear that?
Some found it a great ending to the saga, but the majority believed it had nothing new to tell and just catered to the nostalgic aspect instead, just relying on the past movies. Well, let's end this. Rise of Skywalker. Wait, seriously? So they confirm Palpatine's return in the trailer, and then here they just reveal it in the opening scroll? No epic reveal or anything, just, hey, Palpatine's back! I mean, sure, there's no surprise or anything because it's in the trailer, but come on, it's just so lazily put in the opening. Even Terminator Dark Fate made Arnold's appearance seem badass, and we all knew he was in it. How am I complimenting Dark Fate to make you look worse?
Really bad, actually. Really bad.
So we open with Kylo Ren killing a bunch of people like a badass, quickly reminding us that he's the best part of this entire trilogy. Seriously, he wipes them all out and leaves no man standing. Then he finds this weird doohickey before leaving and entering Palpatine's lair.
Snoke trained you well.
Remember him? Snoke! We all remember Snoke.
I killed Snoke. I'll kill you.
My boy, I made Snoke.
Ah, so you're his dad too! But this poses a question on a long list of plot holes. This is basically a clone of the real Palpatine, and he claims to have created Snoke, but if he can create clones this powerful, why not just create an entire army of them? Surely that would be a lot more effective than stormtroopers, officers, and all these other useless pricks in the film. Why even have them at all? But who cares? What a cool cameo!
I have been every voice
You have ever heard inside your head.
Ah, James L. Jones, how we've missed thee. No, for real. That was actually a really clever use of a cameo. Well done.
I will give you so much more.
You'll die first.
I have died before.
Which means there's absolutely no tension or suspense because anyone can come back from the dead. Coming up next, the return of Vader. And yeah, Palpatine is reintroduced in the first 5 minutes. Does J.J. Abrams just not understand suspense? All this build-up, oh, Palpatine is back, how's he going to return? And then in the first 5 minutes, no big epic reveal, just, oh look, it's the Emperor, cool.
What could you give me?
Everything.
Okay, that is a pretty cool moment. I mean, in these films, Kylo has been conflicted between the dark side and the light side, so it makes perfect sense for Palpatine to try to manipulate him into killing Rey, so this is pretty cool.
Kill the girl. End the Jedi. And become what your grandfather Vader could not.
Okay, that is a pretty awesome line. But why can't Vader come back if he can?
But beware. She is not who you think she is.
Who is she?
A plot point that's going to piss off the entire fan base. So we check in on our heroes as Chewbacca plays Finn and Poe in Jedi chess?
Transfer the message. Get it to Leia. Hurry.
This could be big, R2.
Is every plot point in every Star Wars movie ever delivered by droid? Oh hey, have the obligatory opening flying battle scene.
How thick do you think that ice wall is?
Well, other spaceships were clearly ahead of you, so either they're dead or you should know because they broke through it for you. We then cut to Rey meditating and finding her inner zen, and this is a problem with having two directors making the same trilogy. Abrams made Rey almost completely perfect in the first one, which the fans hated. So Johnson gave her struggles in the second one, which the fans also hated for some reason. But in this one, she's back to being perfect again. I mean, some of it works, which we'll go over with time, but she's basically this perfect pilot and fighter again. And it doesn't always add up as well as Abrams seems to think it does.
I'm sorry, I know.
So Leia gives Rey her brother's lightsaber before she runs an obstacle course completely blindfolded. What, was there even any training here? You can say Luke clearly trained her in The Last Jedi, but I'll say he only taught her how to focus the powers of the Force, not combat. And even then, that training was rushed and basic because she was on a time limit. This was no Yoda and Luke montage. She just knows how to do all of this stuff because she does. But she fails the course because she has her Force connection with Kylo and gets distracted over the dark side of the cock.
I'm just not feeling myself.
I'll feel you. But Rey feels like she's not ready and returns the saber for another time. Before Finn and Poe return.
Finn.
You were in this film.
Yeah, barely. We've decoded the intel from the First Order spy, and it confirms the worst. Somehow Palpatine returned.
Someone was paid to write that line. It's like they panicked. They were like, oh no, everyone hated The Last Jedi. What do we do? What did people like? Emperor, Luke, Han, let's get them all back. And hey, Rose, she's in this too.
Yeah, barely.
It cannot be. The Emperor is dead.
Dark science. Cloning. Secrets only the Sith knew.
Well, that's not true, is it? What about the Clone Wars? That wasn't the Sith. That's a massive part of Star Wars lore. How are you just going to ignore that and pretend it never happened? So it turns out that Palpatine is hiding on a planet called Exegol, but the droids have never heard of it. I've heard people complain that the planet Exegol sounds stupid. Because Tatooine just sounds so cool. Oh hey, it's that alien from before. You know, the one who said...
A good question. For another time.
What was the answer? He never told us!
I know how to get to Exegol. Tell me. Luke searched for it for a long time. He nearly found it.
What? When? When he went to the farthest part of the galaxy where he didn't want to be found? Why would he be trying to find Palpatine? And if he didn't want to be found, why did he leave a map to his location? Oh well, they need to locate a wayfinder in order to locate Palpatine. You know, is it just me, or is this trilogy just a bunch of fucking side quests all tied together instead of an actual plot?
I need to go alone.
Yeah, along with friends.
It's too dangerous, Finn.
Please let me be in this one, Ray! Oh yeah, Finn and Rose, they're not romantically linked anymore. It's almost as if Rose was a major character in the last film, but everyone hated her and sent her death threats and ruined her life and kicked her off social media to the point of a nervous breakdown because Star Wars fans are arseholes, and they still catered to their demands and cut her role down, and they still weren't happy! And I've heard people complain about Rose being cut down. It's what you wanted! You people hated Rose, so they cut her out of the film, and then you complained that they cut her out of the film! Oh my god! Virgins! Virgins everywhere! Seriously though, from a story point of view, this doesn't make any sense, and their relationship isn't even mentioned again.
There's so much I want to tell you. Tell me when you get back.
I can't because you'll be dead. What? Nothing.
Ray, never be afraid of who you are.
Because you're a Palpatine, I mean nothing. So Kylo finds out that he has a spy in his crew. This is a completely pointless subplot only inserted so Rey and her team can get away later. And shouldn't Kylo be able to sense who it is? So the heroes head to Egypt to find some clues while Rey notices all of the happy children. You know, I get what they're trying to do with her longing for a happy family, but I'm just not there. 3 films and I want to root for Rey, but the development of her character just doesn't quite make it.
That's an excellent name. I'm Rey.
She would be honored to know your family name too.
I don't have one. I'm just Rey.
It's like Madonna or Cher. But uh-oh, Force Kylo is back!
I offered you my hand once. You wanted to take it. Why didn't you?
You could have killed me. Why didn't you?
Because I'm the only character in this damn trilogy who's actually been developed properly. So, why isn't he just telling her about her family roots right now?
I don't want to have to kill you. I'm going to find you, and I'm going to turn you to the dark side.
What? No cool line! No subtlety! He just full on says his literal plan. Hey, I'm going to turn you evil. Why can no Star Wars director write decent dialogue? Oh well, he manages to steal her necklace. Somehow. They do get stopped by a stormtrooper, but then rescued by... Hey, it's Lando! He's completely pointless in this. I mean, it's cool to see him back after so many years, and it's sweet to see him and Chewbacca reunite, but he doesn't do anything, and he's just there for fan service. Surprised he wasn't replaced by Tommy Lee Jones. She does try to convince him to fly with them, but he insists that he's retired. Yeah, of course he is. What do movies always try to trick us with shit like this when it's obvious what's going to happen?
Give Leia my love.
You should give it to her yourself.
Because she's going to die. What? Nothing.
How do you know how to do that?
Poe has literally done shit like this in the past 3 films. Why are you so shocked? Hey Han, how do you know how to use a ray gun? I don't even care. Flying stormtroopers are fucking kick-ass! And people complain about this too. How dare they create new things? Look at it, it's badass! And hey, they even enter the first level of the Star Wars Pod Racer N64 video game. But it's short-lived as they get shot into some quicksand.
Ray! Ray, I never told you Ray!
Told her what? Told her what?
Ray! Finn! You didn't say my name, sir, but I'm alright.
Okay, that was funny. Why did they even take the droids on the trip with them? I mean, it's literally just because later on they need C-3PO, but they would never know that they would need them. They literally just take them for no reason. Any other mission, they would leave them behind.
So what was it?
What?
What you were going to tell me?
When?
When you were sinking in the sand, you said, I never told you.
I'll tell you later.
Guess what? He never does. I mean, apparently there is an explanation, and we'll get there, don't worry. But it's really not worth the wait.
We're gonna die in sand burrows and we're all keeping secrets?
I'll tell you when you tell us about all that shifty stuff you do.
That he's always done!
Bones. I don't like bones.
They're rough and coarse and irritating. And they get everywhere. So inside a cave they just so happen to get shot into, Rey just so happens to find a dagger with the location of the Wayfinder inscribed on it, but it's written in an ancient Sith language which C-3PO just so happens to be able to read, but he isn't programmed to translate it, so we have another fucking side quest! Then a giant snake appears and Rey goes all Harry Potter on its ass.
I'm gonna blast it. Don't blast it.
But I want to be in the movie, don't you? So Rey actually uses the Force to heal the snake. Now, this is another thing that sent the fan base spiraling, as the trilogy constantly makes up new powers for the Force. But over time, you have to introduce new things, otherwise it's the exact same thing for 30 plus years. If Empire Strikes Back came out in 2020, people would be like, well, how's he using the Force to try to get a ship out of a lake? That wasn't explained in A New Hope. My problem isn't that it's healing people. I'm all for the Force having these new powers, but it's just the fact that they come out of nowhere. There's no initiation, there's no training, there's nowhere where she actually discovers how to do this. I mean, was this all from the ancient texts? Because is that how easy it is to learn the Force, just reading a book?
That's not how the Force works.
But also, this healing thing was actually hinted at before. Didn't Palpatine stabilize Anakin when he was severely burned? In episode 4, Obi-Wan wakes up Luke, possibly healing him from his injuries. Hell, even in episode 3, Palpatine says,
He had such a knowledge of the dark side, he could even keep the ones he cared about from dying. He could actually save people from death. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
So although it was never outright shown or said, I guess it was implied? But my problem is, again, how does Rey know about this? Now look, I defended Leia knowing the Force because she's Darth Vader's daughter, but we also find out that Rey came from great power. But at least Leia had training of some kind. We even find out in this film that Luke trained her, which makes the space flying in the last film still dumb, but at least it's explained. Regardless, this is a nice little scene as she heals the monster. They're about to board an abandoned ship to search for clues before Rey senses a disturbance in the plot hole and heads off. Chewie is sent after her, but uh-oh, he gets kidnapped before Kylo returns to try to run her down, but she... Well, how the hell is she doing any of this? Teaching her the Force doesn't attribute to combat techniques. Rey! Let me be in the movie! So they take off with Chewbacca as Rey tries to use the Force to stop them. Okay, that is fucking badass. And you can see that she's struggling, so it's not a perfect feat. Then Kylo somehow gets out of his ship completely unscathed and also grabs hold. This is actually a really cool moment. I hope one day I can be in a Star Wars movie. But during the struggle, Rey accidentally blows the ship up, and this is a really cool scene. Later on, she finds out that she comes from a family of murderers, which ties together this scene really well. She has now sensed the dark side within herself and even lingers on her, wondering what on earth her own hands have done, convinced that she just murdered her own friend. Even Kylo reacts, but it's a lot more subtle. You can't tell how he's feeling. Is he glad this happened? Is he surprised? Remorseful? Sad? Did he know it was going to happen? It's a brilliant scene, but shouldn't she be able to sense that Chewbacca isn't really dead? Daisy Ridley does act her ass off in this film, and so does Boyega, but he's just so underutilized, it's a shame.
I had a vision of the throne of the Sith and who was on it.
Ren.
And me.
What about me, Rey? Where was I?
You have to say it like that.
But the movie clearly doesn't understand how suspense or tension works because they immediately show that Chewbacca is alive. Why not wait for the heroes to find out along with the audience?
We've only got 8 hours left, so what are we gonna do?
There is absolutely no way that the rest of the movie takes place in just 8 hours. But they realise that the inscription from the dagger is still stored in C-3PO's memory, so they now have to go to another side quest to find a blacksmith to go through his mind. For fuck's sake! Just write a plot, guys! An introduction, a conflict, and a resolution. A plot should look like this, but your stories look like this.
Hello?
No, thank you.
Looks like someone treated him badly.
Ah, just like Disney with John Boyega. So they head to this village in disguise. The thing is, this whole apocalypse just seems out of nowhere and forced. With Return of the Jedi, it felt like the third installment. It felt like this big epic climax to a 3-part adventure. But here it's like, oh shit, we're on film 3 already? Okay, big apocalypse! But things don't look too good for our heroes as Poe's ex-girlfriend? Shows up and holds them at gunpoint.
You're the one they're looking for. Bounty for her just might cover us. Jakanka!
Don't Jakanka.
We could really use your help. Please. Not that you care, but I think you're okay.
That's why I just tried to hand you over to some killers about 10 seconds ago. So this alien is about to enter C-3PO's memory and translate the inscription, but in doing so it will erase his memory completely because of course it will. The thing is, C-3PO knows of the stakes and reluctantly agrees, and they give it this big emotional moment as he looks at his friends one last time, but he gets his memories back in this same movie, so this is entirely pointless.
So what?
So they wipe his mind and find the location of Exegol, and only now does Rey sense that Chewie is still alive. If only they kept that secret until now and didn't spoil it seconds after he supposedly died.
He's alive! He must have been on a different transport!
That we didn't see. Somehow.
Might get you on a capital ship. Go help your friend.
Sorry, I don't think I can take this.
I don't care what you think.
Oh hey, it's the Star Wars fans to mentally ill people. So they land on board Kylo's ship, but it's not as easy as expected.
Drop your weapons.
It's okay that we're here.
It's okay that you're here. It's good.
Get it? Because Obi-Wan did that in the original? How is she learning all of this? She even senses the damn dagger on board and heads off to find it.
I'll meet you back at the hangar.
Ray, you can't just...
Have extra scenes, let someone else have a turn. Okay, this is a pretty sick tracking shot, I can't lie. The cinematography in these movies is never an issue, it's always fucking outstanding. But Poe gets shot before they're cornered and captured. Rey then finds Darth Vader's destroyed helmet. Bit weird that they've kept it all this time, but alright. And then she finds the dagger before Kylo shows up via the Force.
Wherever you are hard to find.
Wait, he can't see her? But in the previous films, they could see each other when they're doing this telepathy shit. She even asks him to put on a shirt at one point.
Do you have something, a cowl or something you could put on?
Which one is it? Make up your mind!
I haven't the faintest idea why I agreed to this.
Rey starts to remember her childhood as her parents left her, and man, Daisy Ridley's acting is incredible. She is fantastic in these films. But we see that it was Palpatine who ordered the death of her parents before she and Kylo fight. Wait, so I guess he could see her but not her surroundings? Wait, no, because she accidentally knocks the mask off and then he sees that. What are the rules? And surely you would have seen that she was holding the dagger, which would then give away her whereabouts as well. None of this makes any sense!
You know why the Emperor's always wanted you dead. I'll come tell you.
Why not tell her now? Meanwhile, our hero's chances don't look great.
Actually, I'd like to do this myself.
Because I am the obvious plot twist.
What were you gonna tell Ray before?
Yeah, what, Finn? No, seriously, wait till you find out what it is. It's so dumb and really not worth the wait at all.
I'm the spy.
No! The dialogue itself is so bad. The twist is just shoehorned in just for them to escape, and it's completely pointless. Oh, whatever, man.
Friends, ahead. Oh, yes.
Sorry, but the image of C-3PO carrying a gun just looks hilarious. But the spy asks to be shot so he looks less sus as they escape.
Why are you helping us?
I don't care if you win. I need Kylo Ren to lose.
Are you 12?
You don't just have power. You have his power. You're his granddaughter.
Why does everybody in this galaxy have to be related? I was all for Rey coming from nobodies. But no, they've ruined it. Are we supposed to believe that Palpatine actually had sex and conceived children? So he extends his hand for her to join him just as the heroes show up and blast them all away. But I guess Kylo must be wearing those iron boots from Ocarina of Time because he doesn't budge an inch. She does hesitate, which is quite interesting, before running to her friends.
Get me the Supreme Leader.
Yes, sir.
Tell him we found our spy.
Well, that was a pointless character.
I know where she's going. She'll never be a Jedi.
Make sure of it.
kill her.
We only have an hour and 20 minutes left, and this is the final film, so we must do it now. So Rey holds up the dagger to find the exact location of the Wayfinder because we now live in a world where Star Wars is ripping off the Goonies. It doesn't even make any sense. So someone would have to find this dagger and then stand in this exact spot and hope that the mangled remains of the Death Star, which is in an extremely rough area of the sea, is still there in the correct position for this to work. That's a big fucking pill to swallow, guys. So this random black chick shows up to replace Rose? She is literally the female version of Finn. They both have the exact same backstory. They were both stormtroopers. I mean, this is your way of getting rid of Rose due to popular demand? I mean, her character is entirely pointless, and they don't even end up together. So it's even more pointless. She does nothing. But Rey is tired of waiting and steals a skimmer across the ocean. Even though she could float. We literally saw her earlier levitating and floating on her own. And they said they have like 8 hours left before the apocalypse. And that was like 5 months ago.
Something's not right about all of this.
So she scales the structure, you know, instead of flying, before fighting her Sith self? I mean, it looks pretty cool, but they're ripping off the genius masterpiece Superman 3 now.
You wanted to prove to my mother that you were a Jedi, but you've proven something else. You can't go back to her now. Like, I can't.
This scene would only make sense if Rey still believed that she had murdered Chewbacca. But she doesn't! She knows he's alive! Why not have her think she killed Chewbacca and keep that going for most of the movie? It would then make sense for why she's so drawn to the dark side. She believes she's a murderer. They had a really good subplot there and they fucked it.
The only way you're getting to Exegol is with me.
No! Well, those 77 minutes were completely pointless. I hear someone making a Star Wars movie without me. Let me be in the film.
No! No! We can't follow them!
We're black! Disney said we're not allowed to be the leads. The fight scene does look pretty good. The cinematography is great and the surrounding ocean looks fantastic. You can tell they're both exhausted. It's a pretty sick sequence. Which means you know it's gonna suck in a minute. I fucking hate this moment. It is so dumb. I get that Carrie Fisher passed away, rest in peace, she was great, and I know they had to do this big moment, but this wasn't a big moment. Leia's death is awful. Look, I know they had limitations, but this was the best they could come up with. She just says Ben and that's it? What, this took up all of her energy and then she dies? Luke can fucking manifest himself from across the galaxy, but Leia can say one word. It's not hard, just hire a sound-alike. Leia tries one last time to reach her son, gives this epic speech, and that distracts him enough for Rey to stab him, and then she dies. That would have been awesome. I love how the deaths got gradually worse. Han gets brutally stabbed by his son and falls off a bridge. Luke manifests across the galaxy to save someone and then farts into the wind like he was nothing. Leia says her son's name and just keels over. That scene was awesome until that moment. It ruins it. It's pure dog piss. And then Rey uses the Force to heal him and save his life. Because Leia's dead and she can sense it? So why couldn't she sense Chewbacca earlier? And then what, all the fighting and hatred she had for Ben is now suddenly all gone? But if the ending is anything to go by, shouldn't this kill her in return? I mean, again, I'm fine with the Force having new powers through evolution, but this just comes out of nowhere. About me, I want to be in a Star Wars movie. And she flies off with Kylo's ship. So how the flying camel hoof does he get off the Death Star? He's completely stranded now. But later on, he ends up back on Exegol. How can he fly too?
No idea.
So we see Leia's funeral, and I must admit, it is quite emotional to see Chewie mourn the loss after this many years together. But hey, it's the first Harrison Ford performance in a Star Wars movie since Empire where he actually gave a shit, and he's fucking dead!
I miss you, son.
The way you brutally stabbed me to death, I missed that shit. It is cool to see Han again, and Driver's acting is insane. This is a really nice throwback. Which even leads to him throwing the Sith lightsaber away.
It's on every frequency.
Oh hey, it's Rose, I forgot about her. And man, Poe also acts his arse off. He really wants to be in more of this movie, and he deserves to be.
I'm not ready.
Neither were we.
Oh hey, it's Lando, I forgot about him.
He was going to Exegol with Ochi of Bestoon.
Why was Ochi going there?
To bring a little girl he was supposed to take from Jakku.
Jakku? That junkyard?
So Rey starts burning the ship and even tries to toss Luke's saber into the flames, but he soon shows up and catches it. Wait, so if the Jedi ghosts can interact physically with the living world, what's stopping them from continuing the fight against evil, even after death? I mean, can you imagine we've got this big apocalypse and then Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Yoda, Liam Neeson, Samuel L. Jackson, Hayden Christensen, they all come back with this big fight. That would have been incredible! Such a missed opportunity.
What are you doing?
He's talking to J.J. Abrams.
Because you're a Palpatine. Leia knew it too.
You'd think I would have told you since Obi-Wan hid my family roots from me, but hey, I'm a dickhead. So he gives her Leia's saber before we enter flashback mode to see young CGI Leia, which just looks weird. Nah, this ain't no Terminator Dark Fate, man. Why does this movie keep making me compliment Dark Fate? Oh, well, he tells her to take both sabers to Exegol.
I can't get there. I don't have the Wayfinder. I destroyed Ren's ship.
You have everything you need.
So the entire first hour and a half was completely fucking pointless. But alright, Luke finally being able to lift the ship out of the lake is a very clever throwback to Empire Strikes Back. Well done, movie, and it's somehow still operational for her. Of course it is, yeah.
I gotta tell you, I don't really know.
So R2 restores C-3PO's memory in case you forgot about that, before Rey heads to Exegol while the others track her route to hype the big third act.
As long as those Star Destroyers are on Exegol, we can hit them.
Hit him how?
They can't activate their shields until they leave atmosphere.
Oh, shut up, Rose. No one cares about you. Don't make me tweet you abuse.
Once the tower's down, the fleet will be stuck in Atmo for just minutes, with no shields and no way out.
We think hitting the cannons might ignite the main reactors.
Shut up, Rose. Do you want to be cut out of the movie altogether?
Fighters and freighters can take out their cannons if there are enough of us.
Wait, why did that alien get subtitles but the others don't? Nor does Chewbacca. Bit rude.
First Order wins by making us think we're alone. We're not alone. Good people will fight if we lead them.
Except for our fan base. So Rey enters Palpatine's lair while the others fly in and the final battle begins. They're severely outnumbered and they're hoping civilians are going to try to join in to save their asses.
The nav signal is coming from that command ship. That's our drop zone.
How do you know?
A feeling.
Oh yeah, remember that thing he was going to tell Rey? Won't be much longer, just wait.
You want to kill me? That is what I want.
I came back from the dead so you could, make me dead again. Okay, so he wants her to kill him and take over as Empress. So wait, why the hell did he order Kylo Ren to kill her then? You'll say it was just a double bluff to get her onto the planet, but what if it backfired? What if Kylo actually followed through and killed her? She dead, plan failed.
Then let's go!
No, wait, listen. The crown cannons have stopped. They're resetting their systems.
So?
I gotta go do something.
I haven't done a damn thing since the first movie. I gotta do something.
Weak. Like your parents.
My parents were strong.
How the hell do you know? This is such a cliched scene. We have seen this a million times before.
You're just like your father. Lazy, arrogant.
Don't say a word against my father.
Weak.
It is a really cool moment though, as Rey looks around and sees all of the destruction and chaos.
We're taking this entire ship down.
What? How?
We're gonna hit the command deck.
Rose, please, go.
Rose! I'll get the trigger!
Seriously? Rose, the character from the last movie who literally jumped in and sacrificed her own life to save Finn's, now listens when Finn says, hey, just leave while I sacrifice my life. What? But Kylo really wants to be involved in the final act and shows up to save the day fighting these troopers. But why? They don't even know that he's turned yet. He can literally maintain the facade that he's still a Sith and walk right in. I mean, time is a pretty important factor right now, mate. Go and save your woman. I don't even care. Him pulling out the blue saber for the first time is amazing. Then he kicks ass. You can forgive the lack of logic. It's fucking cool.
Stand together. Die together.
I thought you wanted to die. Or does it not count if two people do it? So Palpatine starts sucking the life out of them like a Dementor and... Yeah, they're totally dead. Yeah, sure.
There's just too many of them.
But there are more of us, Poe. There are more of us.
Why is this treated like such a big reveal? He was literally in the room with them when they did the briefing. You mean that person who was there when we planned this whole attack showed up to help us plan this whole attack? Oh!
Where did they get all these fighter craft? They have no navy. It's not a navy, sir. It's just people.
Blah! People. Ordinary lower class.
As once I fell, so falls the last Skywalker.
Who ends up dying. I mean, it's not really the rise of Skywalker when literally the last two Skywalkers die, is it? I mean, the original title was going to be The Last Hope, which sounds a lot cooler and it's a good contrast to A New Hope. I mean, it's weird that the second film is The Last Jedi and the last one is The Rise of Skywalker.
Be with me.
These are your final steps, Rey. Rise and take them.
Rey. Bring back the balance, Rey, as I did.
In the night, find the light, Rey.
You're not alone, Rey. Alone? Never have you been. Every Jedi who ever lived lives in you.
The Force surrounds you, Rey.
Let it guide you as it guided us.
Feel the Force flowing through you, Rey.
Let it lift you.
Rise, Rey.
Oh, could you hear that? All the voices of the Jedi. Oh, it's clever nostalgia. Oh, why aren't they in the fight? It would have been the coolest Star Wars fight scene in history. Also, many of the Jedi in the voiceovers died before Revenge of the Sith was even over. So it's before they learn about the power to become one with the Force. So why are they now here talking to Rey about the Force?
Let your death be the final word in the story of rebellion.
I thought you wanted her to kill you.
You are nothing. A scavenger girl is no match for the power in me. I am all the Sith.
And I... I'm all the Jedi.
Okay, that was pretty fucking cool. Although it's one of the most overdone lines in movie history.
I am inevitable.
And I am Iron Man.
You're mortal. How?
You said it yourself, bitch. We're the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Blood is in your veins.
Soul is mine!
This is blasphemy. This is madness. This is Sparta!
Game over. Guess what? It's overtime.
No man can kill me.
I am no man.
Sharon! You can't beat me! Yes, I can!
So Rey uses the last of her strength to kill Palpatine, but he's proven he can come back from the dead, so this means nothing. Anyone can come back from the dead in these films. Where's Darth Vader? Where's Snoke? Bring them all back. Even when they're dead, they can still interact with the living, so it's pointless. This movie sucks! But it does have some amazing moments. I'm so confused! So Rey dies saving the galaxy, but Kylo brings her back to life. somehow learning how to do that. I guess he took the same bullshit for dummies course she did. Then she's alive, they smooch, and he dies. I did hear criticism that their romance was out of nowhere, but that's clearly not true. I mean, even in my reviews before all of the films came out, I clearly say that it was obvious that they had some kind of sexual tension.
But I can't help but feel like there's still some weird sexual tension between the two. You're a bit creepy if everyone's right and she's Luke's daughter, because then they're cousins.
Despite my problems with this trilogy, I do love how Kylo Ren was written throughout. His journey was done perfectly, and their relationship was built really well. Although, one unused plot element for Revenge of the Sith was going to reveal that Palpatine actually created Anakin Skywalker, which would technically make him his father, Luke's grandfather, and therefore Kylo Ren's great-grandfather. Now, although this was canned from the movie, it remains in the comics and novelizations, which are actually canon. So Kylo and Rey are related, and this is another case of Disney and Star Wars writing in incest. God damn it, I just want to review a movie that doesn't have incest. What is wrong with you people? Oh well, due to his journey, I do find it quite sad when Kylo dies. But can't she just bring him back now? Or would that mean that she dies? Would this just be a revolving door of resurrections and deaths? Oh, look, Ewoks! Remember Return of the Jedi? Remember the past? And now is the time we find out what Finn was going to tell Rey. Well, the movie never actually acknowledges it again, so it seems like a forgotten and lost subplot. But it's believed that Finn was going to tell her that he actually has the Force. Not only does he sense things throughout the film and say,
a feeling.
God, that's dumb.
Definitely.
But when Rey dies, he reacts and can seemingly sense it. But there's been no indication in previous films, and it just seems like a random way to try to make Finn more important in a trilogy where he was clearly sidelined and worthless.
Where are you from, General?
The gold system. What about you, kid?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, let's find out.
With another trilogy you probably won't be a part of. So Rey creates her own saber for some reason and returns home.
Who are you?
I'm Rey.
Rey who?
Rey Mysterio. Okay, she takes on the Skywalker name, which sent the fanbase raging, but I kind of like this. She has no parents, and the entire theme of this trilogy is that you are your own person, not your bloodline. Your heritage doesn't make you who you are, you do. So why can't she just continue the Jedi name in honor of Luke, Leia, and Kylo? And that was Rise of Skywalker. It's okay. But better than The Last Jedi. I'm sorry, okay? Look, I'll be leaving after this, I swear. Yeah, there's a lot of stupid moments, but as explained, that's evident in almost every Star Wars movie to date. Dumb dialogue, dumb moments, annoying side quests, and desperate nostalgic jerk-offs. However, the acting performances and cinematography are amazing, and there are some super cool kick-ass moments for the nerds to freak out over. Yeah, it's not the best, but it's certainly not awful. The trilogy overall is just a mess with a very inconsistent tone. It doesn't know which direction it wants to go thanks to the different writers and directors, but they're fun to watch. Just switch your brain off and you'll enjoy them a whole lot more.
Ah, thou hast returned.
For the last time.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, this is the last review.
No, it isn't.
Well, it is.
No, it's not.
It's so.
Isn't.
It is.
Isn't.
Look, I just wanted to say goodbye, okay?
Fine. Goodbye. Take care.
Thank you.
So, what are you doing for Venom 5?
Nothing! This is the end!
Well, this is out of nowhere, I must say.
I literally did a whole big song and dance at the end of Venom saying that today is the finale.
So, when's the next review?
Okay, I'm done.
No. Every single time, I can never finish a damn sentence in these bastard reviews. Well, I guess it's nearly Christmas. We three kings of Orient are, one in a taxi, one in a car, one on a scooter, blowing his scooter, smoking a big cigar.
I just want to thank everyone who's been supportive over the past 4 years. It really means a lot, and I'll never forget you. I will continue to make content on other channels, but I just wanted to reach out and say thank you all. You've all made these past 4 years some of the best of my life. So, thank you.
Oh, start of one, stop.
It really is the end, you know.
No, it isn't.
Why does nobody believe me? Look,
Oh,
I'm
come
done,
on, you
okay?
say this
Just get
every
on with
single
it, just
time.
deal
Every
with it.
time you say,
Cinematic
I'm
Venom,
never doing
done.
another
Finito.
Venom month,
There's
I'm
no
never
more
doing
episodes,
another
okay?
Venom
I'm
on the
done
shelf,
with
and then you
this. I've
always
had
come back
enough.
for
It's
more.
been 4
You're
years. We've
addicted
had a
to
good
this. You
run.
know
It's been
that?
13
You're
years. It's
addicted.
been
You
11
enjoy
years.
doing
It's
reviews
been a long
because
time
you're
coming, alright? I'm
addicted.
done with
I mean, this
Cinematic
is
Venom.
just as
Look, can you
bad as
just
you saying
stop
that you don't like
arguing
Hot
with me? You're
Fuzz.
Darth Vader. You don't
Or
know
that you
anything
think Lord of
about
the
me.
Rings
This
is
show, this
overrated.
channel,
I mean,
it's over. It's dead. It's
really,
like
you think Lord of the Rings is better than Harry Potter?